Hey everyone, welcome back to Southern Gal True Crime. I share missing persons, cold cases, true crime news, and more. And in this week's spotlight case for the week, I wanted to share with you Vladek Hasel. Bryan has been missing from East Orlando, Florida since November of 2021. And I'm going to start off with just a basic information from the Charley Project, and then I'm going to go through a timeline starting in from 2004 when he was adopted from Russia, and I believe the timeline goes up to 2022. So uh, Bryan or Vladek, as he goes by, has been missing since November of 5th, 2021, from Orlando, Florida. He is a white male. He was 22 years old at the time he disappeared. He will be 25 years old today. He has brown hair and blue eyes. He does go by his middle name Vladek or the nickname Vlad. He was born in Russia and he was adopted with his sister by their American parents in 2004 when he was 5 years old. He does suffer from depression. So Vlad's family last saw him at their residence in the vicinity of Alafaya Trail and MacKay Boulevard on November 5th, 2021. He lived with his father near the University of Central Florida's campus. On November 5th, his father went out of town for a scheduled 10-day trip to see relatives. Vlad was invited, but he did choose to stay home. His father gave him a credit card and $100 in cash. He also offered to buy him groceries before he left, but Vlad said he thought there was enough food and that he didn't need more. Vlad spoke on the phone with his sister in the early morning hours of November 6th, and this is the last time his family heard from him. She said the conversation lasted just around 6 minutes, and he seemed normal at the time. Later that day, he visited Foxtail Coffee Company on University Boulevard. He had been there on November 4th, and apparently when he was there on November 4th, he had made customers uncomfortable by displaying a knife. As a result, when he came back again on November 6th, the employees called the police and they had him permanently banned from the business. They said at that time he calmly left after the trespass warning was issued, and he was seen walking west towards a Wawa convenience store. He may have been sighted at his apartment complex, which was the place at Alafaya, on November 12th. A maintenance worker claimed to have spoken to him for a few minutes near the basketball court. On November 15th, he may have gone to someone else's apartment in the complex and said that he was going to, quote, he was going off grid. So these sightings have not been confirmed, and Vlad has not been seen or heard from since. So when Vlad's father returned home on November 15th, Vlad was gone. He had not been living there during his father was away. Drinks in the house had not been consumed. The package that had arrived in the mail on November 8th was still sitting outside the apartment, even though he was expecting it and had promised his father that he would bring it inside. The time he disappeared, Vlad frequented businesses in the University of Central Florida, Waterford University Boulevard area. He had developed an interest in religion and was known to spend hours praying and reading the Bible at St. Joseph Catholic Church. He did like to interact with and assist people in the homeless community. He said he would like to go live in the woods, but that he would not do so until his father passed away because he did not want to leave his father alone. Vlad had no access to a vehicle at the time that he disappeared. He only had his father's vehicle, and it was in the shop being repaired. He did not have a smartphone or a tablet, having previously broken or discarded those items, and he only had a flip phone, which he left behind, and his case remains unsolved. So that was the basic information from the Charley Project. And now we're going to go to the timeline, which I got from the FindVladekHasel website. I will link both the website and the Charley Project information in the description box. So feel free to go back and read it for yourself. But we're going to start with the timeline in 2004. He was adopted from Russia with his sister Irina, who was 11 at the time. Vladek was 5. Fast forward to 2018, Vladek enlisted in the U.S. Marines. He did graduate from boot camp, and he was later given a desk job in California that they said he did not enjoy. In the summer of 2019, Vlad advised his family that he, quote, found a way to get honorably discharged due to his early childhood trauma from Russia. He told his family that, quote, failure to adapt was the official disposition. His dad did have a copy of this discharge paperwork. The family gave that to law enforcement. It is unknown if law enforcement tried to get access to his full military records. And after leaving the Marines, Vlad went to live with his dad for a few months. In January of 2020, after a temporary stay with his dad, Vladek moved in with his sister Carrie in Michigan. He did hold a job in Southfield, Michigan, where he worked as an environmental services technician at St. John Providence Hospital. They said Vladek did love this job. He prospered there. All was going well until the pandemic hit, which caused unavoidable financial problems and disruption in the household. Daycares closed due to the pandemic, and Carrie, being a single mother, she was forced to take a leave of absence from her job to take care of her daughter. So at that time, Vlad continued to work and to support the three of them during this time. They moved to Nashua, New Hampshire a few months later. Vlad apparently got fired from the job, and he did move back to Florida to live with his dad. In the summer of 2020, Vlad moved to Florida and lived with dad and his dad's wife, who is not Vlad's biological mom, it says. It said there was tension due to Vladek not having a job and not contributing to household finances. The dad does not want to aggravate what he observes as a possible depression that he sees possibly within Vlad, and they decided to leave. It says the dad later gets a divorce. September 20th through September 2020 through November of 2020, Vlad and his dad are staying in a few hotels. November 2020, Vladek and his dad moved into the apartment at the place at Alafaya, which was on MacKay Boulevard in Orlando, Florida. Over the course of 2021, it says that Vlad spoke frequently about how eventually he wanted to go off and live in the woods, but he said he would not do that until after his dad had passed away. He did not want to leave his dad alone or for his dad to be blamed by the family or anyone else for Vladek leaving. Vlad developed an increased interest in religion and heaven. He had made comments, what is the point if we can just be in heaven? It says at this time, Vladek also switches from being a more materialistic person to wanting being a minimalist. Basically, he states that things of this world are just a distraction from heaven. He seems to lack motivation and purpose. He starts to spend more time and money on the homeless population. They said he really enjoyed making people feel important, loved, and heard. He gives extremely large tips to servers at restaurants. He handed cash to the needy. He bought things for anyone that appeared to have any kind of need. On one occasion, it says he even gave his credit card to a homeless couple to use, and they did take advantage, unfortunately, of his generosity. September through October of 2021, Vlad's new set of ideals regarding, quote, things of this world being a distraction from heaven, they seem to take a firmer hold on him. He believes that his iPhone is a distraction. It is around this time that he told his dad that he broke his iPhone on purpose. He throws his iPhone away. He gives his tablet to Bethany. Vladek said he did not want to get a phone to replace the iPhone. His dad insisted that Vladek at least carry a flip phone for safety. On Wednesday, November 3rd, 2021, Vlad is driving his dad's car. It breaks down at Waterford Lakes Plaza near Fresh Kitchen. Vlad walks back to the apartment. He is upset about it. He's worried that his dad will be mad. His dad completely understands and agrees that the car is old and the engine can be replaced. On November 4th of 2021, the car is towed to the mechanic and it remains there until his dad picks it up on November 15th of 2021. November 4th, 2021, according to an acquaintance or a friend, which is staff from, according to an acquaintance or friend, staff from Smoky Bones, Vlad called him, quote, a few nights before he went missing and asked him if he could crash for a night or two at his house. Phone records did show an outgoing call to a number believed to be this person on November 4th at around 7:13 p.m., and it was a 5-minute phone call. November 4th in the p.m., Vladek makes comments to his dad about archangels and demons and how you have to be dark. You have to be dark to kill the dark. And they say in here they assume this is what he was listening to on a YouTube. And per his dad, he wasn't making a lot of sense. On November 4th, around 8 p.m., Vladek apparently walked to Foxtail Coffee on University Boulevard. He bought a coffee. They said he was pacing inside the establishment while listening to music with his headphones on. Foxtail says this is a normal behavior for him to do when he has come in before. While he was there, he reportedly pulled out a pocket knife. They said they think he placed it on a table. A customer sees it. The customer feels uncomfortable, and they tell the Foxtail workers that Vladek was making him feel uncomfortable and he was going to leave. He did not mention the pocket knife to the Foxtail worker at that time. The customer comes back to Foxtail later that night and tells Foxtail workers that he also saw Vlad with a pocket knife. And since Foxtail has a zero weapons policy, they decide to have the sheriff's office come out to issue a trespass warning. By that time, the sheriff's office arrived. Vladek had already left, and he was unaware that a complaint was made against him, this trespass warrant. The Foxtail manager states none of the employees witnessed the pocket knife incident, and there was not surveillance footage of the encounter. It says it has a note, this was previously unknown, and the trespass incident was believed to have actually occurred on Saturday morning, November 6th. Friday, November 5th of 2021, the dad leaves with Vlad's mom. So the dad is Steve. He leaves with Vlad's mom, who is Cheryl, to meet Bethany and her friends in Tennessee for Bethany's birthday. It says this is a scheduled 10-day trip. Vladek was invited to go along for the trip, but he said he preferred to stay home, which they said is not uncommon for him to back out on things last minute. Dad gives Vlad the $100 cash and the credit card. Like I said earlier, he also offered to buy more groceries, but Vlad believes that there isn't enough food in the house and he declines. His dad tells Vladek that he is expecting a package to arrive while he is out of town. He asked Vladek to bring it inside when it arrives, and Vladek says he would. On Saturday, November 6th, at around 1:59 a.m., Vladek has a 6-minute call, the call we talked about earlier, with his sister Irina, who is his biological sister, and he calls her. She later says he gave her no clues that he was going to be going anywhere, and it is not unusual for them to chat at very late or very early in the morning. Saturday, November 6th, at around 7:11 a.m., Vlad arrives back at the Foxtail. The Foxtail makes the decision to call law enforcement and have Vladek permanently trespassed because of the customer's complaint from the night before. This going back to the pocket knife. He displayed a weapon, and the restaurant had the zero tolerance policy for weapons. They say Vladek calmly left when the officer asked him to, and he appeared to be walking west towards the Wawa convenience store. OCSO originally tells the family that Vladek was trespassed for being what they call hyperverbal, and there's no mention of the pocket knife. So according to this website, this is the last official sighting or proof of life that is 100% verifiable. This is due to the police response and the Foxtail video. He was wearing a black hoodie, khaki shorts, and red slides and sandals. And the timestamp is later provided by Foxtail. And I believe, okay, so Saturday, November 6th, the officer notes the time of 8:26 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on the trespass warning. It is presumed that Vladek walked away towards Wawa at approximately this time. On Saturday, November 6th at 12:01 p.m., there's an unread text or message recorded from a phone number that had never previously called or texted the new flip phone that Vlad has. The message reads, "Vlad, it's Obi from the back of the neighborhood." Vladek did not read this text. No further activity by Vlad on the phone after 1:59 a.m. After the 1:59 a.m. call with his sister Irina, all text messages on his phone were unread from that day on. His phone was found in his bedroom near a charger cord, but it was not charged. And the phone was picked up by the OCSO, the sheriff's office, on 11/18 or 11/19. Monday, November 8th, 2021, at approximately 2 p.m., a box is delivered to Vladek's dad's apartment at the place at Alafaya. This is per the tracking number. I'm attempting to officially verify date and time with corporate. This box is still sitting outside the apartment when Vladek's dad gets home from Tennessee on November 15th. The family collectively agrees that if Vlad was home, he would have brought this package inside, as he had promised his dad that he would do. His dad also noted that upon his return from Tennessee, it did not appear as though any food or drinks had been consumed or were missing from the fridge, and no dirty dishes were present. His dad stated that it was like Vladek had not stayed there at all during the time that dad had been away. On Friday, November 12th of 21, a maintenance worker states that he saw Vladek near the basketball court in the apartment complex. He spoke with him for about 5 minutes. The package by the apartment's front door would have been visible from this location and present from approximately November 8th of 2021 on. And so they ask here, or put a note here, did the maintenance worker get the day mixed up? Monday, November 15th, around 3 a.m., Vlad reportedly went to someone else's apartment in the complex. They said it could possibly have been a dealer of some sort. And They said that, Vlad said that he was going to, quote, he was going off grid. So, later on Monday, November 15th, his dad comes home around 4 p.m. after, peeking into the car from the repair shop on his way home. Vladek was not home. His cell phone was dead in his bedroom with the charger cord nearby. But as I said earlier, it was not plugged up to the charger cord. His dad waited until Wednesday of the 17th to report him missing because he told Vladek that he'd be back on Tuesday night, and so he thought Vladek would not show up until on Wednesday, November 17th. Bethany reports Vladek missing. His dad and Bethany post flyers immediately with the dad's phone number on it for any tips. On Thursday, November 18th of 21, the family asked the apartment complex for any video. The only camera feeds available were in the gym and the laundry room, and footage was only preserved for 7 days. The apartment complex says they will review and allow the sheriff's office to review it as well. On Friday, November 19th, in the PM, the evening hours, the search officially begins for Vladek. This is per Bethany and from Facebook. There's a chopper, a canine dog is also there. They said it was raining. And on 11/19, the sheriff's office posts to social media. On Saturday, the 20th, door-to-door canvass by patrol locates the 11/15/21 witness that stated that Vladek stopped by around 3 a.m. talking about going off the grid. Police also use thermal infrared heat drones to search. There's a note that says this, quote, sighting is not at all included in the sheriff's office timeline as his last seen. So that's very interesting to note. The police are on scene from 11 a.m. to at least 11:30 p.m. And in late November of 2021, the sheriff's office shows Vladek's dad a picture of a sandal they found in the woods during their search. It was a red slide shoe. Only one was found. And the dad told law enforcement that Vladek did own those type of shoes, but he did not remember Vladek having a red pair. December 20th of 2021 was Vladek's 23rd birthday. We fast forward to January 9th. It says 2021. I'm assuming it's supposed to be 2022. They were approached by Night Owl Reconnaissance, which is a nonprofit search organization, and they offered their help to search for Vladek. January 21st, Night Owl updates family regarding that they are internally discussing logistics of the video game console data review, and they started planning how to go about getting access to Vladek's PlayStation account on his device. December 11th, Vlad's PlayStation is shipped to Night Owl Reconnaissance in an attempt to obtain further intelligence. Vlad may have communicated with others while gaming. He frequently watched YouTube videos, unknown what he watched, either through an app on this console or his smart TV. And it says no further info at this time. So February 12th or the 13th of 2022, between 10 a.m. and noon, there's a possible sighting, once again at the Foxtail. A customer reported an earlier incident to management. Family reported having previously seen a man having a possible manic episode near the Foxtail dumpster. On the day they saw this individual, they reported it to the workers, who said they would call the Orange County Sheriff's Office. The man was reportedly talking to himself in a very animated fashion. The subject may have been wearing a white top and light-colored pants. He was also barefoot. Customers spoke to the employees about him, and he left. And he was later observed by the same family leaving Foxtel, going towards the Wawa on foot. And there's also a note included that the Foxtel manager later tells the family on April 8th of 2022 that they do not believe the person observed in February was Vladek, as they are all very familiar with him. And no police were called at the time because the person walked away, and no video of this incident was available or preserved. February 24th of 22, the family has a debriefing with law enforcement. On this day, they find out that there is a sheriff's office employee victims advocate that is available to them, who is currently in the room. They're also giving back Vladek's flip phone and the dad's laptop. Apparently they shared it, but Vlad had not used it in approximately a year. Sister Bethany is shown the picture of the red slide shoe. She is told on this day that the shoe has been sent out for DNA testing. Bethany told law enforcement that those are the type of shoes that Vlad wears, but does not remember him having a red pair. It is also on this day that Bethany asked a female detective assigned to the case if Vladek's iPhone records can be requested from Apple for more information, and was told they did not. And there's also a note that says Vladek had used that iPhone up to possibly 1 month prior to his disappearance on 11/6. On April 7th of 22, billboards go up. Also, Foxtel manager update mentioned above. The trespass details, the presence of the manager's video is being provided to law enforcement. On April 9th, a Foxtel manager does provide the family with a still frame from the video taken on the morning of 11/6/21 at 7 a.m. This picture does show Vladek arriving at Foxtel Coffee and clearly shows his clothing and shoes. And despite the family previously not recalling if Vladek owned red slides, he is in fact wearing red slides. And this is the last known picture of Vladek as far as the family knows. And these are a couple of still frames from the video, the last known photo. You can see that there, the one on the left is a full picture of him, what he was wearing. And on the right is just the picture of his shoes, the black socks and the red slides. It says this image is taken from a surveillance camera outside of Foxtel Coffee in Orlando, Florida, and is captured on November 6th of 2021. Right, on April 9th of 22, there's an update from the family. They say that the Foxtel manager stated that Vladek had introduced himself as Bryan, which is his legal name after he was adopted, and he was known by employees there as Bryan. A manager said there were times that Vladek paced in the store for several hours. There were times where he wore headphones, quote, blasting the music and singing out loud. And there were times that he would sit at the corner tables. If he was asked to quieten down, he would always quieten down. He would comply, no issues there. He states there were many times that Bryan would make customers nervous. They would mention it to the staff. The manager also stated that he spoke with Bryan several times, and he, quote, got the impression he was struggling. The manager also says that Vladek said he was sleep deprived, and apparently the Foxtel Coffee has asked to limit their communication on Vladek's missing person case to immediate family members, police, and investigators only. Uh, According to Smoky Bone employee and a friend of Vlad, he spoke with somebody at Smoky Bones, and this person says he was more of an acquaintance than a friend. He stated he had known Vladek for about 6 months, and there was a 2-month break during that time. He states he only met with him outside of work once when Vladek drove him to a pawn shop to pawn a guitar. He also stated that he would see Vlad about once a week at Smoky Bones. They said Vlad never ordered alcohol. He would drink sweet tea. Vlad once invited him to a steak dinner with his dad, but this person declined. He also stated that Vladek said he ate out a lot with his dad. This person described his personality as upbeat and energetic and a little different, as he called it, or he or she. This person also mentioned that Vlad had asked him to, quote, crash for a night or two at his house a few nights before he went missing. This person declined Vlad's request because he had a girlfriend and did not feel comfortable with letting Vlad stay there. He also stated that during the last month, Vladek went from wanting to preach the Bible and have a pilgrimage to saying he wanted to sing. On April 10th of 2022, there's an update from Vlad's dad to his sister Bethany. Says, quote, the search group from Fort Myers experienced a stumbling block when the sheriff's office said they would not be on scene for a search. The search group states they need the sheriff's office present in order to do their search, and the Fort Myers search team recommended another organization to try. The name of that organization is redacted. The dad is following up with that coordinator, and then said an 11 a.m. Monday call was scheduled. June 25th of 22, hashtag Team Vladek had a very full weekend. Grateful to all that helped with canvassing, posting flyers for Vladek yesterday, and for the search team coming out and investing their time and resources to clear the woods. They had more volunteers than they expected, and they cleared the woods in one day instead of two. They did not find any sign of Vladek. So they're relieved that we can cross that out and continue our search efforts in other ways. So there's a lot of information to get to, but a lot of important information. So these are the main takeaways from that information according to the website. They wanted to point out that Vladek was not a student at UCF or any other nearby campus. However, the apartment complex that they lived in or that they lived at was very close to UCF. Vladek was not working at the time that he disappeared. He was being financially supported by his dad. He did have a Facebook and Instagram, but there was nothing on them. He never posted on or used them. There is a chance he could have used them for messaging, but they could not gain access to his account, so they were unable to find that out. His limited online presence was playing his PlayStation and watching YouTube videos by his smart TV. They're still trying to gain access to those accounts to see who he was following and if he was messaging anyone on those platforms. He was not into the party scene or drugs or alcohol, and they said the most he had ever tried was weed. They say he is well recognized at the businesses and restaurants that he would frequent on University Boulevard, Alafaya Trail, and Waterford Lakes Plaza due to his generosity and friendly personality. He spent his free time helping people in need. He would give money to homeless individuals and have lunch with them, and also long conversations at restaurants, and he would cover their check. They said he has a huge heart for people and will strike up conversations with people that he meets. He wanted to make sure they felt heard and that they mattered. Sister says, we adopted him and his biological sister Irina from Russia when he was 5 years old, but he has no contacts with anyone there. They said he did express a general interest in going back at some point. but he does not have a current passport. The only thing they know about his biological parents is that they both had a history of alcohol abuse. As we stated before, Vladek shared a car with his dad. He had access to it the majority of the time. The rare times that he couldn't use the car, he would walk to places, for example, businesses on University. He has never used public transportation around the apartment complex to the family's knowledge. He has never gone more than a couple of days without reaching out to someone in the family. If he was in the right frame of mind at the time of his disappearance, he would at least have told his biological sister Irina that he is okay and not to worry, which he has not as of uh, 2024. So if you have seen Vladek, if you have any information, once again, just to brief summary, Vladek was last seen near the place at Alafaya apartment complex near East Orlando, Florida on November 15th, 2021. He had been living with his father near the UCF campus. He had last spoken with family on November 6th of 2021. His father went out of town. When his father returned, there was no sign of Vladek. Vladek did not have access to a vehicle. He left his cell phone behind. He frequented businesses in the UCF Waterford University Boulevard area, and obviously his family and friends are concerned for his welfare. So if you have, once again, if you have any information, you can call the Orange County Sheriff's Office Missing Persons Unit at 407-254-7000 or call 911. So that is our spotlight case, missing person case of the week. Please, I encourage you to share this video anywhere and everywhere you can to keep Vladek's face out there, his name out there, his story out there. So he has never forgotten. The search for him will continue. Please give this video a like. Also, leave a comment. Those things also help to get this information out to as many people as possible. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. I believe that is all I have. But once again, share, share, share everywhere you can. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Be careful out there. Take care of each other, and I will see you next time. Thanks, guys.